Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. We appreciate the content. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, and click that bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday. I was just checking my microphone settings because of what had happened yesterday. Guys, for those who are back, thank you for joining me yesterday. We're back today for another live stream. Markets are a little subpar today. Really, I covered so much material yesterday that the plan for today is TA Q&A. So this live stream is going to, in many ways, go as long as you dictate it, because the sole purpose of me being here today is to chart whatever the hell you'd like me to chart. So Earthwalker, welcome in. Let's fucking go. Juan, always good to see you, as well as Rory. I got the usuals back on the live stream. Guys, feel free to start dropping me some tickers, because again, we might live stream for 5 minutes. We might live stream for 5 hours. We'll see based on the amount of questions. So, excellent. I already have a question coming in. Got the OG coins here. Ethereum Classics having a little bit of a move today. Just kind of looking at Bitcoin real quick before we start getting into the TA questions. Great. I see some comments coming in, which is awesome. Yeah, Bitcoin's just kind of floating around here. Right in this same zone that we were at yesterday that I've spoken to. Again, this is a 12-hour chart. So basically a day is cut in half. 2 candlesticks represent an entire day. We can come all the way back down here to 98. It's fine. We have an area of price confluence right here, right here, right here. We bounced off it. We can bounce off it again. And guess what? We got the 50 simple moving average right there as another price of confluence that's going to act as an area of support now that we're above that moving average. So I don't care if we come all the way back down to 98. We'll be fine, in my opinion. Waiting for blast off. Again, we don't care. You know, just to kind of reiterate what I said yesterday, we don't care if the market really starts to begin moving tomorrow. We don't care if it's a week or two from now. Bottom line is, we've done the due diligence to come up with a really reasonable hypothesis of what's going to occur starting today out here at point B. All the in-between, as an investor, we could care less about. Unless if something, as I always say, is materially changing in the charts, this is all noise. It's all volatility. Like, let's not get hung up on it. This space, especially I think the older I'm getting, I find a lot of humor in a lot of the nonsense in this space. Todd, super chats. I'm never expected, but always appreciated. Thank you. Let's start getting into some TA questions here. I was just, actually real quick, before I jump into the TA questions, I'm going to prioritize super chats, and then I'll start from the top. But another item that I wanted to fill you in on, because we were talking about XRP the other day. For anyone holding XRP, this is a chart you're going to want to pay very close attention to. This is the XRP BTC relativity chart, so it's XRP paired against Bitcoin. You can see over time we've been, losing value relative to Bitcoin. Now, something interesting is going on right now. We had this ascending line of support that we broke, which we have regained. However, this area right here, this entire area, is a huge area of resistance, right? If we start to break out above the blue line, that would be very interesting. Keep in mind, that would imply we'd be breaking out above a higher relativity value than we had back in 2020 and 21. So has a lot of work to do. Certainly could see a scenario where we bust up into here, especially if we do get up towards that upper end of the price range of what I think is possible for XRP at $7. So just keep an eye on this chart. Keep an eye on this chart. Any altcoin that you hold, you really should have an understanding of how it charts against Bitcoin. So this is just another little tool, something to keep in your arsenal. Let me open up a blank chart. Please chart ACH. Dragging down my portfolio. Yeah, ACH ACH has been a little bit of a turd. That's not a technical term. It's been a little bit of a turd, but here's what I would say. As painful as this has been, and what do I actually mean by that? Because it's not like the chart's going down. We're actually building higher lows here. As painful as this is, meaning there have been so many tokens that have been running, right? So the opportunity costs, having a portion of your portfolio in this asset, you've missed out on the gains in other assets you could have otherwise invested in. And so that's why this has been a little bit painful. I will tell you this, though, Todd. As painful as it's been, nothing has changed, believe it or not. Right now, in fact, you could actually draw this a couple different ways. Might be able to, yeah. Whether you want to draw a downward area of resistance like that or have a flat top for an ascending triangle, I'm still looking at this chart, Todd, and saying to myself, this thing is coiling up. At some point, this thing is going to explode up. And I have a feeling we're going to take out prior all-time highs. What was it, up towards 19 cents? Yeah, I think the worst case scenario for this asset is that we double top up towards 24 cents. I think that's worst case scenario, but I do have a feeling we're going to make new all-time highs here. Just got to remain patient. There's been plenty of assets that have fired off that investors who have been invested in those assets, whether you're talking about an XRP, an XLM, an XDC, all those things have fired off. HBAR. Be patient. Be patient. There isn't anything that concerns me on the chart. Look at the increasing RSI here. MACD's starting to dip down. I want to see that come back out. Momentum's starting to fade on this. But again, we could come all the way back down to here. We could come once again down to 1.85 cents. This thing historically, though, when it starts to move, it starts to move. So nothing has changed on the chart, Todd. So I would just my best suggestion would be to remain patient if you're invested in ACH. Okay, now let's start from the top here and see what questions we have. Thank you for everyone new coming on to the live stream. I shared at the top, if you missed it, that today's live stream is dedicated to you. And so the live stream is going to go in generalities as long as you dictate it, how many questions you have. So let's see here. Arc block. I know this is one we've looked at before. Got something going on with my quad. Don't know what. Let's see. You know what I really need? I need to somehow build into my repertoire getting deep tissue massages, because as hard as I work out, I'm starting to come to the realization that might be advantageous. Okay. So obviously we had this large move up. Right off the bat, this looks like some really solid consolidation to me. I like this chart a lot. Let's make this resistance. Now, why do I like this chart? Well, you can see clearly we have some downward resistance here. That's pretty obvious. We've come down and we've double tapped this bottom here from August of 24. I would be less bullish on this if we rode this thing all the way up here and we started rolling over and coming down here. We've maintained, this to me looks like clear consolidation. We've maintained price levels essentially for the most part right in between here. Okay, and again, we're coming back down to this area right here, but not a concern. So let's take a look at the technicals. Let's see if there's any reason to believe we could see something pop up soon. Let's take a look at a smaller time frame, a lower time frame. Not really seeing too much there. Two-week chart. Yeah, I don't. My synopsis of this chart is that we had a very large run up, right? We went from 6.5 cents all the way up. Okay, we did almost a 10x. Okay, so when you have that large of a move, what you want to see is things actually cool off. Okay, you want things to consolidate within a tight range, because that's going to provide you essentially a launch pad and a base to skyrocket off to new highs, right? So this is very, very healthy, what we're seeing in the price here. We just have to wait to start to clear some of the resistance I have drawn out. Obviously, there's an all-time high up here too. So we have descending resistance and resistance. Good question. J. Kim, what's up, my friend? We haven't looked at Doge in a long time. Here's a monthly. I'm going to make that support. Again, for a lot of these projects, the most advantageous thing you can do is to zoom out. This is a monthly view right here. You can see rounding bottom, explosive action. Rounding bottom. We're starting to break out of that rounding bottom. Really the key, I mean, look, the key is 45 cents. Once you start to break above 45 cents, in my opinion, having been here for a while and knowing where we're at in the cycle, once you break 45 cents, this thing is going to teleport to 74 cents pretty quickly. Now, what'll be interesting for Doge is once we start to get up to 74 cents, will this be a scenario like it for Bitcoin in 2000 and 2021, where we just, like a hot knife through butter, we just went right through $20,000 and went all the way up to like 33 or 35? So will this slice right through 74 cents and go up to $1.20? Or are we going to get a little bit of resistance right here, retrace, and then explode up? Either way, Doge has the potential to go well over $1. Okay, I've been saying that for a while now. Doge has the potential to go well over $1. I could see $2. So just got to remain patient with this one, but it's looking good. Look at that. Price indicators. Good to have everybody on the live stream. Those who are making time for me, I'm making time for you. RSI on the monthly is 65. It'll be interesting to see what price is like when the RSI on Doge is above 70. So, ooh, a stock chart, of course. We never get stock chart questions. Rory, I'm very happy to take a look at a stock for you. Let's see what we got. Dutch Brothers Coffee. So Rory, where did you get in on this one? We're sitting at 61 bucks. Where did you get in? Is this something that you're trading? Is this something that you're investing? Do you mind disclosing? I don't want to know your position size. I would never ask that. That's personal. But at least would you mind sharing where you got in? What was your entry? Where did you ladder in or buy in? And are you trading this or are you invested in it? I'm just charting this baby out. Give me a second. Digesting the chart. It's a little noisy, but doing the best I can. I consolidated price action here on a 2-week. Now, there's a couple things you can do here, Rory. First off, did you comment? No, you didn't comment. You're not going to disclose where you bought in. Or if you bought in, maybe you're considering taking a position. Couple things to comment on here. First off, obviously the time to be considering establishing a position. If you are on the fence, this is a clear indication once we started to break this downward resistance that I would have been looking at price indicators, seeing if we were you're invested. Okay, great. Little 50s, long-term hold. Okay, great. So you're in the 50s. You're already up. You're up at least, let's say 55. You're up 10%. That's great. This is the time when we started to break downward resistance that you'd want to evaluate the chart to see if there was a potential trend reversal up to the upside. Now, what you've seen since we've broken the downward resistance, you can see higher lows coming in here. Again, You will find, if you tune into this live stream pretty regularly, you will find that I break down the charts in a digestible way and in a very basic, keep it stupid simple way. I believe a high degree of success for investing or trading is just keeping it stupid simple. So I'm looking for higher highs and higher lows. One of the things that could happen, especially I don't know the market cap on this, you could have a run up here. You could come all the way back down here at some point. Okay, you want to watch this trend line. A giveaway that the trend could be fading to the upside is if you break this. Because quite oftentimes, just like we're seeing on Bitcoin dominance, you break what was once support, you come up, you try to get above it, and you can't. You get rejected. So watch for that ascending line of support that's right there. But you can see I have two major areas, 46 to 54. I really don't want to break below, in particular, 46. This huge 2-week candlestick body is right around 46. If you start to break down below 46, you're flirting with coming down here. So just keep that in mind. Major areas of resistance look to be around 61. Now, why do I not have... I could put a line of resistance right there, right? Why do I believe that even though this is the all-time high, why is this line right here at $70 more important? Well, the answer is because you have a touch by this 2-week candlestick, a body right up against it, 2 and 3. So you have 3 touches on this candlestick. This is just one little wick here. Yes, it's the all-time high, but I'm not as concerned about that. With the price confluence that exists on the chart, I want to get above $70 ultimately. Once we get above $70, things could start to get very interesting. One of the things to keep in mind, you can even keep this in mind, bringing it back to XRP, because I've thought about this. Oftentimes in trading and investing, at least doing chart analysis, there is a very common understanding or a concept, the rule of sevens. And I've hit on this before, but when something hits 70 cents, it has a high likelihood of hitting $1. If it hits $7, which I've said that to me is my most opportune or most bullish forecast for XRP, well, the rule of sevens say there's a very high likelihood we could hit 10, okay? So keep that in mind. In this case, once we start to break up towards 70, the rule of sevens would say $100 is very possible. So just keep that in mind. Great question. Glad somebody asked a question on stocks. You know, we never do. I know the channel focuses on crypto. This is a crypto channel, but I love charting stocks whenever you guys bring them up. Did you see my tweet? That's a little vague, my friend. I don't know that I don't know that I. Oh, by the way, it's called a post, not a tweet. If I have time, I'll check later. There's a few things I need to get done for work before I relax this evening. But I will be scrolling X, I'm sure, once I'm in bed. So I'll look for your post. I didn't see it. I think that Juan is always asking about PLI. Are you? I seem to recall this. But you know what? You're a friend of the channel, and I'm happy to oblige. Now, we've charted this before. Come on. Come on. What exchange did I use? Bybit? Oh, well. I don't know. I feel like we've... PLI, not PLT. Whoops. PLI USDT. Wow. Okay. I feel like we charted this before, but apparently I'm confusing this with another ticker symbol, so I apologize. Josh, let's fucking go. I just saw you, my friend. PLI. Man, it's a little, the lighting, I don't have a professional setup. I don't know if you can tell this, but I do the best I can. So I'm just a little one-man shop here. I don't have people creating thumbnails for me. I don't have a professional camera set up, professional lighting. I got a little nice camera. I got a little nice light behind here. That's about it. So... anyway, there's not a lot of price action on this chart, and it's not very, I'm not crazy about this chart, but let me give you the bullish case and the bearish case. I personally am not crazy about this chart, but I will say this. Let's talk about the positive, okay? I'm a positive guy, and I like to focus on the positives. If I'm not feeling positive, something is really off. Could be the weather. I'll tell you what, I don't know where you guys are located. It has been chilly. I hesitate to say cold, but I've been going out for walks lately in addition to all the other exercise I do. I go out for walks during the day. I'm up to like 13,000 steps today. I was out in a tank top, and I was like, this is not happening. I had to put on a sweatshirt. It's fucking cold in South Florida. It's a little nipply out there. But then again, I looked at my hometown in the Northeast and saw that it was like 5 degrees, and I was like, I don't really have it that bad. It's like 50 degrees here. So it's just when the sun is not out, which I haven't really seen the sun much here lately. When the sun's not out, it's 50 degrees and the humidity drops off. It feels a lot different than if it's 50 degrees, the sun's out, and the humidity's up a little bit. Anywho, let me give you the bullish case here, being positive. This you can see as a major area. Once we lost this price level, we're going to call it around 6 cents. Let's just call it 6 cents. Once we lost 6 cents, we've tried to recapture it many a times. And as you recall, as I've said on this live stream countless times, there are two things being demonstrated by this area of price confluence. One is strength. Clearly, it's a strong area of resistance because we're having problems getting above it, right? The second thing that it's demonstrating, or that at least we should know as chartists, is that the more times we actually hit it, yes, it does demonstrate the strength of that price confluence, but more so the thing to take away from it is it's a jackhammer hitting a ceiling, okay? You're weakening the resistance. So the positive here is there's a decent likelihood that at some point very soon we break above 6 cents. Now, the question is, if we break above 6 cents, what will happen to price action? I see one area of resistance right there at 8.5 cents. Another major area I want to put right there with 3 touches, candle body, wick, up at 12.5 cents. And then, of course, you have this big wick up there, 50 cents. So ideally, what you'd want to see, I'll tell you what you'd want to see. You'd want to see us break 6 cents. If and when we break 6 cents, I would expect there to be an explosive move up just because it's been such a significant area of suppression within the price. So once we break 6 cents, I'm expecting something maybe like this. Okay? And onward and upward. Okay? I would expect that. Now, the bearish case is 6 cents is just way too difficult for us, and we just roll over and we create a new low, and then you're running into a situation where, you're basically, look, what I'm trying to show you is we're in a death spiral, right? The bearish case is we're in a death spiral here, and we're just going lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. Now, look, are either of these scenarios possible? Absolutely. I can't tell you with certainty what's going to happen in the chart. I'm telling you what to watch for. My suspicion is, based on where the overall market is at, and a rising tide, as I always say, lifts all boats, this thing's going to go up. But, got to keep an eye on the charts and see. Rashid, good to see you on the live stream, my friend. Good to see you. Missed the first stream, charts to look at. Holy crap, you got a lot of charts. So, we charted CAS yesterday, so you can check out the live stream yesterday for that. You got LTC, C-Pool. Well, I'm going to pick one to start just because I want to see what other questions we have. Let me take a look at C-Pool because we've never charted that before. So I'm going to see what this is. It sounds familiar to me. Oh, wow. Look at that. Okay, here we go. All right. This is clearly in a trend reversal to the upside. So you can see... Yep. We essentially... And again, we're splitting here. This is on a weekly time frame. You can draw this out different if you want. We want to respect this trend line. Could we draw it like this? Yeah, we could even draw it like that if you want to be a little bit more conservative. Or this would actually be, yeah, more conservative. That's the way to say it. So what you don't want to see is coming down here and losing this trend, losing the upward, losing the ascending trend, as I indicated on another chart that we just charted out, whatever it was. That's indicating a loss of momentum. So you want to respect that trend line. So keep that in mind. Second thing is, let's identify a few areas of support. I do love to see the higher highs and higher lows coming in. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high. So that is very good to see. Areas of support. Yeah, that's good. And I don't want to clutter up the chart too much. So I see two areas of support, one at 11.3 cents and the other at 16.5 cents. Besides that, you could draw another area like right... Again, the important thing is you have a general idea of price confluence on a volatile asset like this. You don't need to get too pretty. So I have 11.3 cents, 16.5 cents, and 24 cents, 24.3, whatever. Okay, areas of resistance. You'll notice a lot of times when I take charting questions from you guys, I really focus on the price data. Sometimes, quite often I'll go to the price indicators. The big ones are MACD, RSI, stochastic RSI. A lot of times, though, price action's king. So, and some of this is speed, getting through what I can get through because I want to answer everyone's questions. I don't want to take up too much time. So that's your main area of resistance to clear at 56 cents. Once you clear, Rashid, once you clear 56 cents, I don't see a valid argument personally, because all we're doing is look at the price action here. All I'm doing is looking left at this price action here and asking the question, where is there enough price confluence that it makes sense to draw an area of resistance? Right there would be one, and another would be maybe like right there. And then once you start, now look, once you break that $1.92 or $1.91, you got two little wicks here. Those wicks do not provide a lot of resistance on the chart. It's really the candle bodies that do that, and the amount of confluence that exists on any said area of price confluence. So you got your areas of resistance laid out there well. You can read it on the chart. You can go back, rewind it, take a look at it. MACD's cooling off a bit. We've had quite a run. We ran up from 6 cents all the way up. We did a 10x here. So some of these price indicators are just cooling off. So I think that's enough to go on, my friend. J. Kim, you already had a question. Let me get to some people who haven't asked questions yet. Pepe Whiff. Yeah, I've been disappointed with Whiff. Very disappointed with Whiff that it hasn't maintained higher valuations. Ooh, I love the question by Natty Light, the DXY. The DXY, we haven't talked about that, and I'm surprised I didn't. I mean, there was so much to cover yesterday with being out. The DXY has really surprised me. Now, in general, so a couple things here. Look at this. I talked about this area of resistance, and I said I would have been very surprised if we would have broken this area of resistance. Well, we have. The DXY is at the highest it's been since back in 2022. Now, in generalities, and I've hit on this point many times, please listen very carefully. In general, there's an inverse correlation which exists between the DXY and risk-on assets like crypto, meaning they tend to go in the opposite direction, okay? But that doesn't imply two things. That one, they have inverse relationships on every minute of every hour of every day. A lot of times they move in the same direction. And number two, it doesn't mean that because the DXY has been going up, the strength in the dollar has been increasing, that crypto can't go up, okay? It'll be interesting to see how everything plays out. I mean, you can see typically what I've drawn out here, when we have seen a large plummet in value, that's when crypto has run. Based on my understanding of all this education that I absorb, we at this point in time need a weak dollar. So it'll be very interesting if the dollar starts to weaken and coincide with the run that we're anticipating. You know, something like, I don't know, something like this, right? Coming all the way back down to 96 or 95, wherever it bottoms out at. Certainly in the short term, this has not moved in the direction that I would have thought. But the question you have to ask yourself, given where we're at in the current cycle, is what's going to happen for the remainder of the year? We'll see. So far, we've run up, you know, beyond my expectations. As we start to come down and correct at some point, are we going to bounce off this area and treat it as support and continue going higher? Or are we going to temporarily bounce and then just roll over? So we'll keep an eye on it. Great question. Thank you so much for asking about the DXY. Let's take a look at the price indicators real quick. Yeah, MACD looks like it might want to cool off a little. RSI is curled down, but the RSI looks good. 62. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm not overly concerned about it, though. H-bar. So all my fellow H-bar bearings. I still have my little H-bar canvas up there. Yeah. Not much has changed, Josh. Not much has changed. So, you know, with a lot of these tokens, I don't even have to go in and chart an H-bar. I don't have to go in and chart an XRP. I don't have to go in and chart a Caspa. I don't have to go in and chart a WIF or a Brett. And why do I say that? I have charted those things enough that at this point in my head, this brain, I know the price levels to look for. And so once prices get to that point, then I'm going to open up the chart and take a look and see what's going on. And that goes to the upside and downside. If these charts start to break below key levels, I know what to look for. If it starts to break above key levels, I know what to look for. So here, obviously, the major line that should stick out to you is 20 cents, 21 cents. We want that to hold above all else, right? We can come all the way back down to 21 cents. I could care less. In fact, we've already almost done that. Right now, though, I'll tell you exactly what's going on with this chart. We're consolidating, and it looks like we're in a giant flag, to be honest with you. So there's a couple different ways you can draw this. Here, either way, it's very bullish. I will say that. Let me see. Okay. So here's your pole. Okay. Now, a couple ways you can draw this. You can draw a flat top. Okay. And an ascending line. Okay. Or you could draw something like this. Something like that, right? Either way, this thing is coiling up. As long as we don't lose 21 cents, I'm fine. If we start to lose 21 cents, then you're talking about 15 or 13 cents, right? But we're very close to all-time highs. Very close to all-time highs, and this thing looks like it wants to make new all-time highs. And obviously, here's my thought on this. Once you start to break above 58 cents, which I think is inevitable at this point for H-bar, my eyes are on $1. And why are my eyes on $1? Because $1 is a psychological level, okay? It's a psychological level. So it'll be interesting to see how price responds around that dollar. Do we get an initial top around 89 cents or 93 cents? Do we blast up to $1.01 and then have a massive retrace? Or do we blow well past $1, which I think is the least likely scenario? But I'm going to be watching for $1 and how price responds around that time frame. Thank you for the question. We haven't looked at H-bar in a while, actually. Earthwalker, thank you. I appreciate you guys. I mean, the channel wouldn't exist unless if I got engagement. So even though it's not a big channel, it's enough engagement for me that I still enjoy doing this. Okay, more charting questions. Let me see where we're at on time. I can maybe take 2 more charting questions. Cass, logical move. Gave an update yesterday on Cass, so check out the live stream. What's up, Track? Good to see you, my friend. A lot of things going on today. I don't know. I haven't been close to the news. I'm being honest. What is going on? I don't really know what's going on. Wojak. Oh, we want an update on Wojak. I'll give an update on Wojak. When drawing supports and lines of support and resistance, does it make more sense to draw support using red candles and green candles for? I mean, Juan, it's just a personal preference. Green is good, red is bad, right? So green support, red resistance. I mean, the main thing is you just want to color coordinate. You do. When you're looking at a chart, you want some differentiation. Green could be orange and red could be purple. But, when you start throwing up moving averages, you just don't want, you want your chart, you want to be able to read your chart, and you should distinguish between areas of resistance and areas of support. That's the main thing. What's going on, Mazda Dashcam? Haven't seen you, my friend. Good. Hope you're doing well, and thank you for showing up. Raghorn has a question. Just got here. Was my TA correct for Falx yesterday? 4-hour chart. Oh, did you had a question yesterday? Let me get to the question on Falx, and then we'll see if we have a question or a time to take a look at Wojak, which I'm sure we will. And then I'll work back up. Maybe I can get to another question or two. Okay, so I do remember you bringing this up yesterday, and we didn't do TA questions, and you wanted to know 4-hour chart. Cup and handle. Cup and handle, yeah. Cup and handle in the big time, yeah. I mean, I think I see what you're saying. I believe what you're trying to... Let me just make sure. Yes. I believe what you're trying to say is this is a cup, and now you have this handle here. I'm not... so let me say two things. One, I am not a cup and handle expert, so I don't know if by definition this qualifies as a cup and handle. I could see the argument that at least it looks like it does. You have a rounding bottom. I believe the volume profile fits a cup and handle, although the only thing I thought I would have seen on a cup and handle would be for volume to be large here, drift off here, and then you have a volume surge, which you see here, and then we drift off in consolidation, which you see. I don't see the volume profile right here, which I believe is the case. Don't quote me. I'm not an expert. I could be. The more important thing that I can see on this chart, we have a nice... almost a sharp recovery, actually. Came up. Now we've come back down. We're in a tight range, consolidating, lower volume, which is good. And we're just waiting to break above, this point, whatever the hell it is, 0.04 cents. I honestly don't know if it's a cup and handle because I'm not an expert. Sort of looks like it could be. Again, I don't give you, if I don't know the answer to something, I just tell you. I don't, make shit up. Some people make shit up. I do not do that. I don't know. Trump signed an executive order to create a working group to evaluate the potential for creating a national digital asset stockpile. Oh, dear Lord. Trump signed an executive order to create a working group to evaluate the rumors that are going to come out of that? I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. Well, that's cool to hear, though. It is funny. Senator Loomis picked to chair the Senate Banking Subcommittee on Digital Assets. It's interesting. I don't know how long you guys have been in this space, but I've been here for a long time, as I've said. And it's just so interesting to see the developments because I know when I got into this space, Bitcoin made too much sense to me for it not to be successful. And no matter how much I got laughed at or ridiculed, it's just interesting to see the things play out the way they are. This is an asset, Wojak, that I have commented, if it has not bottomed, it's extremely close to bottoming. We have a trend line that we've respected so far. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touches. I don't see us going below this area right here, that green line. If we did, okay, maybe we come down to here. Maybe we get a volatility wick and we temporarily go above it. But on a weekly candle closing basis, I see us respecting in particular this green line. This thing, even though it's been, maybe for some of you it's been frustrating. I don't know. I see the bigger picture here and it looks like a great chart. We've come up here and double tapped our resistance up here at 0.2 cents, okay? And now we've just consolidated, creating what? Higher lows all along the way, okay? So we're just waiting for momentum to begin to really start to pick back up in the market. And in particular, because this is in the Ethereum, it was launched on Ethereum, okay? Once Ethereum picks up pace and starts heading towards 5,000, 6,000, whatever, 7,000, if Ethereum's going to double from here in a relatively short period of time, which I think is quite possible, what do you think something like a Wojak's going to do? This thing's like, I think it's like 50 or 60 million dollars right now. This thing could 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 20x. So chart's looking good, guys. No complaints on Wojak. Again, one thing I did want to comment on with Wojak. Wojak, and I've said this, I've made this argument on X. The market, I believe at the end of the day, efficient market hypothesis theory goes something along the lines of basically the market always values things correctly. Sometimes there are asymmetric opportunities, but ultimately the market always gets it right. I can't help but look at this token and think the market, there is an asymmetric opportunity here, and the market doesn't at the moment have it priced correctly. That it'll get there, it'll get priced correctly, but it's not there. Why do I say that? If you look up what Wojak is, let me pull this up for you. I did a little bit of digging, and what I found was, while I knew this meme had been around for a long time, I didn't realize how long this meme had been around. You tell me. Let me make sure my personal information isn't here. Okay, making sure I don't want to get doxxed. You tell me if this meme doesn't look familiar. What's interesting is Wojak and Pepe the Frog, they came out around the same time. This was before Bitcoin, okay? Now, Pepe has what, like a $5 billion market cap, and Wojak's at like 50 million? But these memes, in my opinion, inarguably, are at least as popular as one another. How many times have you scrolled Twitter or X and seen a Wojak meme? Elon Musk, just name anyone. People post Wojak memes all the time. So I just believe there's a very big asymmetric opportunity potentially there, and the market currently has this asset mispriced. I am not saying that Wojak is going to reach Pepe's market cap. But if it did, it would be a 100x from here. Okay. So at the very least, I think it should be making up some ground relative to the valuation for Pepe. If Pepe goes to 100 billion, right? What do you think Wojak could go to? Could Wojak maybe go to 20% of that, 30% of that? Maybe putting it at a $2 or $3 billion market cap. We'll see. But I think the market has temporarily mispriced this thing. All right, I'm going to take one more question. And by the way, I did want to say, before I take the last charting question for today, I did want to thank you for the engagement. You know, it's I haven't been on in a while. A lot of you, at least in terms of this stream, have showed up today. You've been extremely engaging. You've asked a lot of great questions. I'm not even going to be able to get to all the questions. So I wanted to thank you for showing up and making time. So let me get to the last question for today. Now, the reason I'm charting this one, I'm not playing favorites with who asked this. It's because we haven't looked at it before. So let's take a look at Beam. And the question specifically that is being asked is Double Top Thoughts by Brian Dawkins. Oh, I'm sorry, Brian Davis. B-Dawk, number 20. This is Beam? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. So, what Brian here, what B-Dawk, I'm just going to call you B-Dawk if that's okay with you, because Brian Dawkins is one of my favorite players of all time. I got to meet him, shake his hand, get his signature a couple times. This is what he means by a double top. You can see we've come up here, and this, again, area of resistance is showing a lot of strength, but the more time we come up there, we're weakening it every time we hit it, right? It's 4 cents. So Beam is showing a lot of resistance at 4 cents. What would I want you to really focus on in this case? Because this setup is similar to other charts I've looked at. I want you to keep in mind we're respecting higher lows here. It's not like Brian. Keep in mind, it's not like we came all the way up here and now we're dumping down here and we're creating, lower lows, right? We're not doing this, right? We are respecting a bullish formation in the chart, which are higher lows. Now we're just waiting for a higher high to come in. So long as this ascending line gets supported, it's still showing a moderate amount of momentum to the upside. Now, if this area of, that's the line I really want you to focus on, but if that line doesn't, if price action doesn't respect that line, where could price fall to? This is a main area I would be looking at right around 1.5 cents, okay? I would look at 1.5 cents as an area that you'd really want to see hold. A penny is a psychological area, so anywhere between 1 to 1.5 cents, you don't want to start to see us break those levels. But again, you could theoretically, let me draw you a theoretical here, okay? You could, you could theoretically come all the way down here, maybe wick into here, come right back up, and start bouncing up. So just remain patient, but I actually like this setup personally. I like this setup. So no big concerns here. Just be patient. No concerns. I don't have any. Let me look at the... you can see we're losing momentum. Cross down to the MACD. You want to see that change around in particular. You don't want that stochastic RSI to remain below 20. 20 is a trigger line. Okay, we want to get back above 20 to be bullish on the stochastic RSI. But I'm not overly concerned about this chart. I'm not. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it. I don't anticipate, lately I have not been live streaming on Fridays. Of course, I'm going to be doing a little bit of traveling next week. So my schedule is live streaming on Monday and Tuesday next week, and I'm not going to be here Wednesday, Thursday. So I will consider doing an extra live stream either tomorrow or Sunday. I know it's not going to happen. The Eagles are in the NFC Championship. That shit's not happening. I'm enjoying the day watching football. So we'll see. We'll see how price action looks tomorrow. If we get a really bullish day tomorrow, just midday my time, I might just decide to live stream. So that's why it's important you decide that you make the decision to have all notifications on, because I do sometimes randomly go live at 2 o'clock in the afternoon my time. So all right, guys, thank you so much for showing up, and I'll see you either tomorrow or Monday. Until next time, let's all spread awareness and carry the education forward. Go Birds, Super Bowl.